Welcome to the Sci-Fi Center, the place to be, where comic books and wrestling collide magically. Movies, TV shows, and pop culture we share. Get ready to rock, we're here to take you there. From superheroes to aliens in outer space, we've got the latest news and reviews in our embrace. Turn on your screen, let the neon lights glow. We'll take you back to the 80s. Let's rock and roll. Sci-Fi Center, where the legends come alive. Get ready to geek out, let your imagination fly. We're diving into the past with a touch of modern flair. Sci-Fi Center, we go to let pop culture lair.
Hello, happy remainder of Saturday. Another weird one. I hope you guys can hear me. I've been trying to make the adjustments to the earphones. I'm not getting any sound. I didn't even know I have them on. But while I have the show on, I've been trying to make adjustments. We had this problem last night as well. So if you guys can hear me, let me know. If I'm too loud, I can't tell how loud I am because this thing's just not working. I have, so I'm gonna have to do some resetting of drivers. So let me make sure I'm coming through. Yeah, that sounds like shit. Okay, well, the hell with it. Um, like I said, when it comes to Stranger Things, I don't feel like it's a letdown. I don't know. I think a lot of people had kind of goofy expectations coming into this. To be honest with you, um, let's see. So I'm not sure what people were expecting. I've seen mixed reviews and everything else, but I mean, like I said, if you've been watching the show since day one, like as I have since 2016, I think these episodes are consistent with what the show's been. Are you going to have it? I guess explain last night. Are you going to have a season four? No, season four was one of the better seasons that I've watched in television history in regards to storytelling. They are not. Most shows, period, in their entire runs, are not going to have a season as good as Stranger Things season four. But as far as some of the complaints I've seen, to be honest with you, and everybody has the right to their own opinion, but as I read some of these complaints, most of them are bullshit. Most of them I get through and I look at them like you either weren't paying attention during the first four seasons, or you just started watching now and while you were looking at something else. I don't know. I can't really connect with some of the criticism that the show has gotten so far, other than the fact that it's not as good as season four. That wasn't going to happen anyway. So I don't know. That's like I said. it's still an extremely highly rated show. It's still gonna have a billion people watching it. So, but I don't see this season as a disappointment at all or a letdown. To be honest with you. I don't know if we're gonna have a Brad tonight. I let him know that there's a show, but that's gonna be on him. Let's see. Not 5 hours, which I was glad about. Let's see. I finally watched F1. I think I might have enjoyed it more if I were in the Formula One racing. I'm not. I did like the sound score though. Yeah, New Year's Eve. I'll be watching that on part of our AFSP marathon. Well, thank you, and Taladia. You and Taladia made that happen. Like I said, I was not available today to help you with that, so I'm glad you guys were able to have fun with that and get it going. And I don't know if we raised any money, but putting the word out there always helps. And we have we have Wednesday coming up, which is our last fundraiser of the year. I say, yeah, we're still right where we were at before. So, but I think we're gonna make them significant ground. But yeah, thank you, and Toledo for hosting that for me. Like almost 3 years, wasn't it? Almost Stranger Things. It was too long. I know that, and that's streaming shows in general. I think they should stream. I think they should film uh, um, streaming shows in clusters, and not have us waiting 2 to 3 years, especially when you're dealing with kids. Um, yeah, 2022. 2022. It was the last two episodes aired on July 1st, 2022. Wow, that's dense. You don't watch this shit? Oh, you're trying to show you things. So he's Rook pulling its own chairs. We introduced this, not really, but then this is going to destroy everything, but not really. Here's the big reveal. See, that's where this is a prime example where I think a lot of people's expectations are going places where the story is not taking you. I think there are people that are sprinting to the finish line before letting the storyline get to the finish line. So I don't know what to tell you, Fourth. Me and you are, I don't, I don't know if we're watching the same show, to be honest with you. I don't know if I'm watching the same show as a lot of people that are kind of whining about it, but they have set a standard that, like I said, with season 4, they set a standard that I don't think most shows are going to be able to reach. So that's they're kind of their own worst enemy there. But I have not felt what you're feeling on this show. So, but that's just me. You went this long without seeing Superman in the movie. Well, now it's been on HBO Max forever. So. Let's see. Well, the threat builds. The threat builds from episode 1, and they really let you in on it now, especially now, and especially last season. The threat has been building all of this, and it's been if you like I said, for those of you who've been paying attention, it's been consistently building, since season 1. Everything that happened in season 1 leads us to where we are at right now. That's why I really don't understand the complaints, because it's consistent with everything that's happened prior to. So I mean, were you expecting something different than what they've been giving you? I'm not sure. I don't know. Yeah, I'm planning on doing that because I want to watch it live. So we're gonna time our marathon to where we can watch that live. Wasn't the Packer game kind of meaningless because they were already in and they can't get any higher? I thought, yeah, I think they about yeah, they sat Jordan Love, so they didn't count anything. I heard the third Avengers Doomsday trailer has been leaked involving X-Men, but I don't believe it. I'll believe the trailer. I like I said, when it comes to these leaked trailers, I just kind of ignore it. I figure eventually it's going to pop up on my YouTube channel, the legit versions of it, and then we'll go from there. And this is gonna be the year of just dumb rumors and shit. So it's not expectation. The show has no good swings. Once again I disagree. I don't know what you're watching. I really don't know what you're watching. I don't look up opinions on Twitter so far. I found a lot of YouTube essays that concur with like I said, I watch a show for me. So I can't relate to what you guys are saying. I give no shits about what other people think about when I'm watching a show, and I try not to let it affect me. So I've read it. Some of the stuff come past my Facebook timeline, Instagram, all that. I'm looking at it and I'm like, I stop because I just don't know which show you guys are commenting on. That's it. And like I said, it's all subjective. Everybody's going to have their own opinion, which is why I don't fucking care about a lot of the opinions about shows that I watch. For God's sake, I watch Titans. So, I mean, if I didn't care about people thought about Titans, I really am not going to care about them. But I can't relate. I'm not there with you guys when it comes to some of these criticisms. It's not better than season 4. But once again, they're not going to. Most shows that I've ever watched are not going to get as good as that season 4 goes. So that's a high bar. But no, I can't. We're not speaking the same language when it comes to Stranger Things. Could it be better? Sure. I can say that about every fucking show I watch. But I'm going where the story. See, there's a difference. I'm going where the story takes me. I'm not trying to overlook and over jump things. So maybe it's because I'm taking a little bit differently. But yeah, but they are in. Didn't they clinch? Didn't Green Bay already clinch by virtue of when the Lions lost? Hold on, let me look. I haven't been paying too much attention to the NFL. I mean, let's see. Sports, it's hilarious. Standings. Yeah, Packers are in. They've clinched the wild card spot. That's as high as they can go. They can't win the division. I don't think they can move up because of the tie. You're right. The tie does hurt them. So, yeah, them getting beat today was kind of meaningless because them winning was meaningless. They had a concussion, or they sat him out because I don't think they could have improved their standing. And there's no, since they're a wild card with no bye. I mean, I don't know if it was worth playing. I mean, I personally, here's how I feel about Stranger Things. I'm enjoying it because I enjoyed the evolution of the relationships that these people built from episode 1 all the way till now. And for me personally, I'm getting the payoff of all of that. All the trauma that they've gone through, all the things that they've gone through together, all the evolving that they've come to. I've seen Steve evolve into what he is now, and this season is consistent with that. The scene with him and Dustin was legit. If you've ever been through any type of trauma or if you've ever known anybody to deal with loss, they get that way around people around them, especially when they're in risky situations. There's friction because they don't want to lose another person. And then when Steve's end of it, he didn't, he felt that he was losing Dustin as his friend. And they weren't losing each other. They were just going through stuff. I love that scene. The scene between Nancy and Mike, not Mike, but what's his face? That I could have done without, but it didn't hurt anything for me. What Vecna is, his mind, that whole thing, the wormhole, all of that was to me was satisfying. I was okay with it. I mean, I'm pretty sure if I watch it in retrospect, I can poke holes in it. But as I'm watching it in real time, I'm not having the same issues as other people do. And I haven't completely ignored some of the opinions. I'm just because whenever I watch the show, I try to relate so I can have a conversation. But you guys are having a different conversation than me, and it almost feels like you're watching a different show. That doesn't mean you're wrong. It's all subjective, but I just don't. There's nothing in these comments that I'm hearing that I can really say, oh yeah, okay, all right, sure. Other than you know, it's not as good as season 4. That's like I said, that's not happening for a lot of shows. All right, so let's see. You guys are still talking about it. Well, we have to do Watchmen because we didn't do it that one. We got to do at least one of those movies. We're gonna do Watchmen. We're gonna do Stranger Things finale. There's another movie I think we had that we were supposed to do that we got cut short on the previous marathon. So I will be putting the movie. Put about six. Probably gonna be about 6 or 7 movies because that'll bring us from noon. We're gonna start at either 10 a.m. or noon, one of those 2 hours, and then we're going to go all the way up. Go all the way up to midnight, and then at midnight, we're going to stop the marathon. We're going to take the cameras just like we've done the last 2 years. We're going to go outside to the terrace, and we're going to watch the fireworks. And we're going to come back inside and put a nail in, and hopefully get as close as we can to our $20,000 goal as possible. You're going to have to donate some serious cash for the group. I can't sit through that movie. I can't do it. Not for free. I mean, it doesn't even need to be money that's going to me. If you put a sizable donation to the charity, then we can do it. But yeah, the Bears clinched the division, so there's really nothing for anybody to do. And the Bears, you guys can go ahead and believe in the Bears. I think the Bears are out the first team they play. I think the Bears are out. I think they played the down division this year, and I think that the Bears are gone. I don't think they're going to clinch the bye. I think that's either going to be San Francisco. I think it's going to be San Francisco, and and depending on who they face in the first round, I think the Bears are an early out. So yeah. With a 95 Super Bowl. Wow, dude, we're talking about 31 years ago. Some of you are not only old enough to drink since the last time the Cowboys won, you're like having kid issues now. You're doing homework with your kids. Well, I really don't think that the Bears had or Green Bay had a chance to clinch that division anyway. They were dead men walking, so I think the Bears are going to clinch that no matter what. The Packers were not. That tie really fucked them. Maybe I was high when I spoke. Wow. Okay. I mean that's fine. I mean that's an opinion. It's to me it's going where it logically needs to go. Everything is lining up where it needs to line up, and now we have one episode to tie at a very long episode to tie it all in a bow. I mean, I want to hear from some of you guys that are pretty down on it right now. Let's see how you feel after that eighth episode. I mean, I saw some people are like, oh, there's not enough people getting killed. I'm like, well, wait a minute, hold on. See, the one thing I did not like about Game of Thrones, one of the couple of things I didn't like about Game of Thrones, they used the death of characters in ways that did not further the story. I think most of these guys in this story are going to make it out alive. There's no reason to kill them. It doesn't further the story, and we're on the last leg. You already know Nancy's not dying because she's getting her own show. 11 and that girl, they might go. They might sacrifice themselves to close the rift forever. Who knows? But as far as everybody else goes, if you're just killing people to kill them, it gets Game of Thronesy, and that's one of the weaknesses that I thought Game of Thrones has. So I saw some people like that. And I saw people like, oh, well, season 4 was blows it out of the water. Once again, that's true. I can't even dispute that. I saw some people have the issue with Mike coming out. Oh, now he's woke and he's getting, not you guys, but now he's woke and getting. I'm like, wait a minute. If you've been watching the show, they've been building that for years. And they definitely went a long way to building it last year. And I thought Robin was the perfect vessel for him to be able to be out. And I thought people are thinking about the whole coming out as gay thing in the 2025 terms. This is 1986. So that weight is 1,000 pounds heavier. So I thought it added more to the story. And I thought that's where Robin Maya Hawke's character shined a lot more. I love her character, by the way. Every time she's on screen, she steals the scene. I love that character. But you got to realize, it's not, coming out isn't the deal that it was back then. Coming out in 1960 could get you killed. It could get you ostracized. It could get you killed. So you got to realize the time. So I thought that was a big moment. Yeah, I mean, but once again, though, I can't watch the show for everybody. Everybody's got to watch the show and come up with their own feelings. Nobody's wrong. I'm not saying you guys are wrong for these opinions about Stranger Things. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling your opinions right now. I just, Now, could we have a shitty episode 8? Of course we could. They still got to land the plane. William, did you say? No, I have not. No, I have not. And I really don't want to see any bootleg. None of the movies that they're playing it in are movies I want to see. I have no desire whatsoever to see Avatar. And any of these other movies that they're playing it on, I must not, I don't have any desire to see those. So I'm gonna wait until I get a proper one on YouTube, and then we'll break it down. Rational, William, Dune and Doomsday, and Jumanji 4, and the Hunger Games Sunrise of Reaping that. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah. But it's also the holiday season, too. They'll probably, I got to see the dates. Obviously, we know Dune and Doomsday are on the same day. And I would not, if I'm Warner Brothers, I don't move them. If I'm Disney, I don't move mine. There's no reason to move those movies. Those demographic overlaps, I think, are going to help those movies do well. As far as everything else goes, they might spread those out because of the screen limitations. If you have the big two lions, which are going to be those Dune and Doomsday, eating up the screens, you might not want to have those so close because you might want to wait until those screens, or might want to go before, because you're going to want Jumanji. Jumanji really does good money, so you don't want to really truncate that one. Hunger Games, I'm not real sure. I haven't kept track of Hunger Games as far as what it does financially, but I know Jumanji, I know they took a big dip from one to the other, but it was still like hundreds of millions of dollars over profit. So, but yeah, I see them getting together and plotting their movies where they want them to be, based on the fact that you want the big bangers to have the most screens for the longest amount of time that you can get them in. So it's going to be an interesting 2026. By the way, 2026 is like a week away. Crazy, man. I don't know what the exact dates are. So if you can give me the exact dates of the other ones, I know Dune and Doomsday should not move. And you might want, if the other ones, all those other ones should move to prior before. If you want, you can move them after, because none of those Dune of all those movies, the one that's good, the Oscar consideration is going to be Dune. All those other ones are going to be financial considerations, but with Dune, you have Oscar and financial considerations. So it's going to be any of the ones that are not Dune or Doomsday. I would move those other ones to November. But then again, because some of those studios are conflicting with each other. Some of these studios have movies that are conflicting with movies that they have out. So you got to be wary of that as well. My favorite Mexican food. I'm a burrito guy, shrimp burrito. Shrimp or any, seafood burrito, any type of seafood burrito, I'm big on. When I'm in Comic-Con, man, I make sure we got good burritos, but especially if you go, the Roberto's is good, and there are a lot of mom and pop, Pepe's Taco Shop. Man, the best burritos I find in here in Las Vegas are at the taco stands, at the outdoor, ones like that. Not even a restaurant, where the guy's got he's got his little lights and everything on his truck. He's got his propane. He's cooking. He's got his chair set out there so you can sit outside his trailer. Those are the best burritos I've ever had. For me, any type of seafood burrito is good for me. And the closer to the West Coast I can get, the better. Don't nobody give a damn about Hunger Games. I listen. Somebody's watching. They keep making them. I don't see them. I promote them. I still got little trinkets and shit from Hunger Games. The little snakes and whatever ones. I'm not into them, but somebody continues to go to do it, and they continue to make a profit. So Jumanji is because of Jack Black. Dune. I don't know if Dune is going to make $1 billion. I think this is just my theory that I think Dune is a $500-600 million movie. However, with the gimmick, I think Avengers Doomsday can help Dune do what Barbenheimer did. Because without all that pink, Oppenheimer doesn't make anywhere near that. Oppenheimer makes good money, don't get me wrong. But it doesn't make anywhere near. That movie made close to $1 billion. And I'm sorry, that movie is not making $1 billion. That movie made $900-something million. That was a great movie, by the way. That's my favorite Nolan movie, and I only have 2. But no, I think that Doomsday, because I think a lot of people are going to do what I'm going to do if I don't promote them. I'm going to go see one in the afternoon. I'm going to hang out at the theater. By the way, theaters, be ready for this. You're going to have, not everybody, most people are not going to go back to back. They're not going to walk out of one into the other. They're going to watch one. They're going to take it in. They're going to hang out in your lobbies. They're going to be hanging out, and just be ready to treat those people like gold and then send them right back into the other movie that they're going to go see. This is going to be a good thing for theaters next year. So, but yeah, I'm planning on going to see both of them in one day. I'm just going to spend the day there. And if the theaters are smart, they're going to make me want to do that often. So, yeah, I think that those other movies will move simply because there's conflicts as far as screens go. Especially when you're talking about IMAX. You're going to want to Dune. A lot of people, I'm not a big IMAX guy. I'll see it on whatever screen is ready for me. But a lot of people will want to see it. Denis Villeneuve's movies on IMAX, I think, are, and then Avengers Doomsday. A lot of people are going to want to see that all in Spectre. So you're going to have limited screens. So some of these are going to have to move just based on that necessity. William, I mean, for what I got so far, the reveal of threat ends up not being that bad and beaten in no time. I got to watch the rest. Well, from where you're at, son up, it's a little bit different because the threat is escalating and they don't know about it. One of the biggest things about Stranger Things is it's a rolling danger that they are learning about each moment that they're dealing with it. We really don't know the breadth of the scope of the threat that is caused by the main villain Vecna until season 4. And then we really don't know until season 5 when we start realizing what he's doing and why he's kidnapping and why he kidnapped. Everything is tied together. They didn't write a story that was broken up in pieces where they had to guess. They wrote this thing from 1 to 8, or from 1 to 5. So everything, and that's why you have to keep going back and looking at season 1. There are a lot of things that are happening in this season that tie each and every one of these seasons. And now it's all coming together. So you might not have thought it as a bigger threat when you were watching it at the time, but now if you look at the show in its totality, especially if you're caught up when you catch up to season 5, you'll see that it's starting to form now. And it's fully formed. The threat is fully formed. We now know what he wants to do. We now know why he did what he did. We know everything now. Now it's just stopping him. And at what cost is that going to come at? They released on the same day, and Warner Brothers has already said they're not moving one. They really don't need to. They really don't need to, in my opinion. Like I said, if this movie was coming out in a month or 2 months, maybe, because financially it's like, oh shit, bills, everything, I understand. So it's been hurting theaters. We got a year. We got just under a year. You got a year to save up and have a good time at the theater with your friends and family. So I don't think financially it's going to be an issue. So I don't, and I think a lot of the crossover demo was going to want to see both. Shit, Tom Holland is going to be on both movies. There are some people, I think there's a couple of people that are going to be in that are going to be, actually, no, I'm thinking Odyssey. I'm sorry. But you got people, Zendaya, I mean, you got people that are in all, that are in the same demographic. So a lot of people, everybody I know that wants to see Dune wants to see Avengers. Everybody I know that wants to see Avengers wants to see Dune. I don't think they're gonna hurt each other. I think they will help each other. Like I say, make a day out of it. And in theaters, every one of you guys and the studios need to capitalize on that terminology. Rational Skeptic, $5 Super Chat. Hunger Games is November 20th. Disney's Hex got me there. Is on November 25th. Narnia is November 26th. Jumanji is December 11th. Dune and Doomsday December 18th. And Eggers Werewolf is makes it, that's gonna make that. I don't think that's gonna get hurt by anybody. The people that are gonna go see that movie are gonna go see that movie, regardless of these other movies. But the other ones, they may move. Jumanji's okay where it's at. Because by the time Jumanji reaches its second week, it will start to tail no matter what. Even if it has legs, it's not going to be making the same amount of money as week 1 and 2. So those November 20th, November 25th. Well, Jumanji is doing 11. Jumanji may move just to get that second week, but maybe not. A lot of them are going to want to keep those dates next to Christmas holiday. Because we'll see December 11th, you're not even in a holiday. December 18th, it just depends on what. Usually you're not in holiday. You like the week afterward would be for that one, so they could move it to another. But I just don't know what their priorities are. I don't think Eggers Werewolf is moving. I don't think Doomsday is moving, and I don't think Dune is moving. I don't think Narnia is moving. Or actually, Narnia is on November 26th. I don't think Narnia is moving. You got plenty of time there. Jumanji would be the only one you might want to push back, but where do you push it where it's not coming into conflict with these other screens? So it's going to be up to them. Thank you for the $5 super chat, Rational. Yeah, he was on the episode called The Bells. He was one of the guards running. He got burnt up. Season 2 for me was the weakest of all the seasons so far. But season 2 is relevant because if you're watching season 5, you know why season 2 is relevant. But as far as pace and storytelling, there was evolution of the characters throughout that season, but it just wasn't done at the level that seasons 1's. I loved season 3. I love Starcourt. I love Starcourt. In season 4, you guys hear me talk about, even when we're not talking about Stranger Things, you hear me talk about. I love season 4. Season 4 of Stranger Things, be honest with you, should be put in front of everybody who's learning how to tell a story. It should be a class. Season 4, you care about every single person, and there's not anybody in there that you don't really care about that has significant time on the screen. Eddie was a masterclass of a one-season character. The stakes were making you care about everyone, making you dread, making you care about what happened to the people, no matter how long they've been with the show. I think everybody on the show gave their best performance that year. I mean, even the people that would usually annoy me. Fucking Murray's. Well, I thought Murray was a throwaway character that would eventually get eaten up by a demo dog, and he doesn't. He's a kick-ass character in there. Even Yuri, the Russian that helped Hop get out, all that stuff. I mean, so yeah, I think some of the negativity is coming off, especially if you rewatch season 4 as you rolled into season 5. Yeah, it's a drop off. I have not seen Jay Kelly with George Clooney. I don't know if it's just a spoiler. If you haven't watched it, it's been 3 years. I thought Eddie's death really put forth the consequences of what they were doing. I thought his death was necessary. I thought his death was necessary to be able to push forth the mortal consequences without necessarily killing one of them for story's purposes. It hits you when he goes. The reality of that, what could happen, these awful things and these risks these people are taking for each other. And I think and even right now, the one thing that Eddie's death, what it does is it puts that thread from the beginning of this episode all the way up till now, that consistent thread of what these people are willing to do for each other, what they're willing to do for their friends. They're willing to die. And you don't really, when you're watching a show like this, sometimes you just forget, you just kind of dismiss the risk and the mortal danger that they put themselves in until people start dying. Like in I think it was season 2, where her boyfriend, Bob, dies. It's Sean Astin's character. They built him up over the years. He gets killed trying to save them from the demo dogs as they're getting away. There are moments like that, where you're reminded that this is serious, that these people are risking their lives because of these people that are their friends, they're their family, they believe in them. The Eddie situation. And it's consistent. No matter what season you are in I almost said Game of Thrones, in Stranger Things, there's some hallmarks that are always going to be there. These people, this group, they're never going to leave you behind. They'll risk their lives for you. All of them. All of them at some point in time have risked their lives for each other or the group. And they're going to believe in you. Eddie, just on pure belief and combined with what they had gone through, they fought for Eddie. The whole town was against Eddie. Dustin fought for Eddie. And then they fought for Dustin. And then they all domino effects fought for each other. Steve started out as a complete dipshit asshole. As what they want to do. Steve has risked his life for all of those kids. And he hated those kids at the beginning. So when Eddie's death happens, you realize that there are stakes here, that there are consequences here. How dangerous this really is, how important this really is. So I thought his death was necessary. I really did, to be honest with you. It was tough to watch, though. That's like the perfect death scene. That is the perfect death scene for me. And I, as a grown man with a man card, no, I don't cry when I'm watching TV shows. But if there was going to be a tear pushed off when Eddie and the music that they were playing, how Dustin was cradling him, everything was perfect about that scene. And then at the end of the show, the end of the season, where Eddie's uncle is putting those signs out to try to find him, and then Dustin comes up to him and says, "Hey, I was with your son and he died." He's like, I know the whole town hated him, but he was a good kid, and I'm going to keep putting these signs up until I find him. I don't care how many times. And then Dustin tells him. And it's that moment when Dustin tells him, "I was with him when he died." And then you see the look in his face. He has no reason to believe Dustin, but he knows. He knows. And then they sit down and they start talking about it. So, yeah, I think his death was really necessary, especially for that season. Now, once again, I don't think that was a death that pushed the story along. All the deaths in Stranger Things, though, unlike Game of Thrones, have propelled the story to where it needed to go. And it wasn't just a kill thing to talk about on Monday morning. So I got to slightly disagree with you on that one. There's different effects that death can have on a show. In Stranger Things, they can kill your favorite character. And since nobody died of importance to the group, they might say, finally. I hate that, though. I mean, once again, if people die in a story and it's part of the story, that's cool. But if you're just going to do it, like I said, Game of Thrones does it for shock value sometimes. There are characters in Game of Thrones that did not need to die. But they did it for shock value just to keep you on your toes. And I'm like, what is killing any of the kids in the character we're going to do? How is that going to propel the story anywhere? Whereas Eddie was he was a one-season character, and he was one of the best one-season additions of any show I've ever seen. And he was one of them. He became one of them, and then he went. So I'm okay without death if it doesn't propel the story. Eddie's death was a perfect example of what it means to do it. But, I hear some people saying, "Oh, nobody important has died yet." I'm like, dude, it doesn't mean, sometimes a good guy wins and lives, happily ever after. does happen. There we go. There we go. Good, good. My big little kangaroo is on it today, boy. By the way, if you guys, if you didn't see, if you didn't see Aaron, I got to show you guys this. Here we go. Most adorable Aussie. Look at her. Look at her. This little baby face. Her little howdy, Mr. Howdy t-shirt with literally feces on it. That's hilarious. That's some rice she made. That's something else she made that looks tasty. And then this one, because usually we don't see her in good lighting. We usually see Erin. It's like Zordon from Power Rangers, and it's just her little face glowing in the dark. We usually don't see her in like lighting. Look at her. That's what Erin looks like in daylight. So hilarious, though. I can get that. I'll show you. I'll go to the Outback. All right. So yeah, we're gonna be watching Godzilla -1, Stranger Things, Watchmen. So I'll have to add. Looks like I'm gonna have to add three movies to that. Slipknot. Long time no see for sure. Lee. Oh, there's one more episode that definitely can redeem. Well, it's got 2 hours. I don't think the season needs to be redeemed, but I don't know if I'm in the minority. It's 85% rating, whatever that means. So the vast majority of people have enjoyed it. But you know what? For me, it's not the will came out. It's that his coming out kills the urgency when they're already going to roll up, make their last stand. Now, okay, the will coming out. I don't agree that the will coming out should be stunned at anything like that. But once again, that's subjective. The Max scene with Holly. We need to get the hell out of his mind. We need to be running. I'm thinking, okay, those little things? That thing's gonna close up, and you're gonna be stuck there again. How many times have you tried to get the hell out of here, and you're still stuck? And it's bad enough you gotta leave her. You have no choice but to leave her, but you need to tell her real quick. Hey, we need to chop this down. Find a place. Get there, meet. We'll get there, blah, you know. And then that's it. You didn't need 15 months. I'm sitting there, and I'm okay with what was said, but I'm like, is that hole gonna close? It's like somebody holding the elevator, or you need to run. So yeah, and then they finally did run, and they ran it slow motion and shit. So I did like that scene, but I know a lot of people were saying, well, Karen she's been useless the whole series. And no, Karen was useful when she needed to be. Every single one of these characters were useful when they needed to be. Every single one of them from season 1 up to now. I love Karen. I love when she was drunk and she was fighting the Gorgon. She breaks the glass off and gets vicious because that's what a mother would do to save their child. I don't care what fallacies she had and what a bonehead she'd been for the whole series and how drunk she was. Somebody's trying to kill her child. She stood up to, dude, you seen what these dimmer, you saw what they did to the military. They're just ripping people up. By the way, if you're a soldier in Stranger Things season 5, you're just getting killed like multiple Ollie Coyotes. But she stood her ground, almost died. And then I like the scene when she comes out and does what she does. For those of you who haven't watched, I'm not going to tell you, but I thought it was pretty clever. I enjoyed that scene, but I'm looking at it from a different point of view. Yeah, I mean, like I said, you guys who are having some issues with it. I mean, not all of you are like completely just have some issues. Those are not, they're fine. I mean, I'm just trying to relate to some of them. I'm just like, I don't feel it right now. That one bothered me because that was the first significant death that they did, and that hit you early on. That this isn't just some stupid ass show where like G.I. Joe or the laser hits the plane and everybody makes out safe with a parachute. No, everything, and it's something that Mike says. I think it's either Mike or it's Will when he's trying to he's got a plan. They keep coming up with these crazy ass plans. These kids, even though they're young adults now, this is crazy shit for people in their 40s and 50s to be doing. Every time they come up with a plan, she's like, this is risky. You could be killed. And then he turns to her and says something that literally has been relevant all season. Everything we've done is risky. Everything we do is risky. Everything that they've done could have ended in the cataclysmic ends of their lives or mortal injury, as it has now. There is nothing different. Vecna was always going to, his goals were the same. So they were always in mortal danger. So now they're getting to the point where it's like, fuck it. We've been in mortal danger for a really long time now. We're all ready to put it into this. And I'm getting that feeling through the show. But when Sean Astin's character, the stepdad, died, because he was kind of they set him up as a useless, bumbling idiot type of character. But when a lot of people will show bravery in their last moments, and he had to know he was getting ripped up. He held off those Demogorgons long enough for them to be able to escape. And when he came back and he's dead, that puts away everybody from that point on that risked their lives, whether it be 11 risking her life for the group, whether it be Hopper's crazy ass doing a myriad of things that could get him killed. Lucas, Dust, all these people. You look at the stuff that they've done during this show, all of this shit should have gotten them killed and could still get them killed. But they were doing it for their friends. They were trying to save their friends. They could not leave. The loyalty in this show, I think, is the strongest point of this show. The things that they're willing to put themselves through to save their friends, to stand up for their friends, and not. When Will Byers was allegedly kidnapped, and the government created a body, and everybody thought he was dead. They even held a funeral for him, just on the belief that that he was alive. Even if there was an ounce of possibility that Will Byers could be alive because he was trapped in the Upside Down. Every one of those crazy people were willing to risk their lives, go down there, fight all that shit to bring him back. And that's been consistent throughout the show. Once again, not going to let you die. We're going to risk our lives for you, and we're going to believe you. When Eddie said, "I didn't kill that girl," they not only did they believe him, and they had a little bit of advantage because what they had been through, but they fought for his ass. They stood by that guy. And that's the kind of camaraderie that's been consistent. That's why I like the show. And I think season four brought all that to the surface more so than any other season. But yeah, that season 2 and Sean Astin's character killed. It's like, oh, okay, it's going to be this type of show. How you doing, Jose? What's going on? I felt they really ignored what the ending of. I've heard this too. Season 4 set up Hawkins split into 4 pieces. Anyone can see upside down gates. It rains spores. Well, remember though, the military came in and shut that down. They're still split into 4s, but remember they did what the military would do in that situation. They sealed it off. Because what Vecna was trying to do at the end of season 4 is exactly what he's trying to do now. They stopped him. Remember, they stopped Vecna. They didn't kill him, obviously, but they stopped him from being able to do what he was doing then. And now he's trying to do it again on a much larger scale. And now we know what he's going to do, that what he's trying to do, it has more relevance. I don't think that they left you hanging from season 4. You literally see the metal and the shit that they've put over those fissures. And they can't leave that town. So I thought they did a good job at the carryover. I don't know. I haven't seen the performance. I can't. I mean, obviously, Robert Downey is the Academy Award worthy actor, but I don't know if this particular performance is going to be at the level I see it. Just like every start to a season, they neutralize the feeling of the threat. Well, I see that there's another where I disagree. I don't necessarily that they needed to do a situation where they just jumped immediately into what the stakes were the previous season, because you have different characters. You have a situation where time has passed, and you need to set up your narrative for this season. So that previous season was part of the narrative, but there's much more that's been added to it. So I have to slightly disagree. I think it could possibly make $1 billion. I guess I really think that it's going to benefit from being on the same day as Doomsday, as I think people are going to do the gimmick. Hell, if I'm the two studios, I make a popcorn bucket with both of them on there and split the profits. Do I like Jack Black? Not really. Nothing personal, but he's generally in movies that I don't like or that I don't really prefer. So I really want this meeting to feel like 21, where new people become champs. New leads, Gunther beat Cody for WWE title, and Braun beating Roman. I think you're going to get what you want with Braun. I don't know about the other one. It seems like that's where they're going, but I think you're going to get what you want when it comes to Braun Breaker. Yeah, make a Dune and Doctor Doom bucket. Make a sandworm that's eating him. I don't know. Do something. See, I didn't think that death was forgettable. I did not. I think that death, because it was the first time, other than Barb disappearing, being kidnapped by the Demogorgon, and you see her body. That was the first time that you realize, oh shit, these people are risking it all for each other. So. I mean, like I said, I never want to guess that a movie. I mean, Avatar is really the only sure bet of a movie that I think that's going to make $1 billion. And then Avengers, I think both Avengers movies are going to make it. I don't know. No Denis Villeneuve movies made $1 billion, including the two previous Doom movies. They make good money, but they're prestigious movies. Though they're not necessarily they're there to make money, but they're also there to put them on the map and get them Oscars. Just because they kill somebody that they introduced in the same season doesn't mean that person's death had meaning. Eddie's was introduced in season 4 and died in season 4, and he had all the meaning in the world. That's just how. Yeah, it's an Avengers film with Robert Downey Jr. in it. That's gonna print money. Yeah. Every new episode of Stranger Things feel like it'd be the first season. See, this is where we're fundamentally just not coming together, dude. Yeah, I got Odyssey mixed up because I don't think he's in Dune 3. Is there anybody that's in Dune 3 that's in Doomsday? All right, let's see. See what AI gives us. Nah, no, we don't have any crossover. But man, they both have all-star cast. I haven't seen any of them, so I mean, they could go away and I wouldn't listen. I don't think Glick was much of a thing. Barbenheimer was because they were on two opposite spectrums, but I think this will do the same effect because of the exact opposite reasons. Because of the fact that it's a demographic, it's putting a very similar demographic in the theater with each other. Season 2 is the weakest of all of them, though, but it's relevant. Remember as you're going through. Remember remember season 2 and some of the people that are in it. We're not done with season 5 yet, guys. We still got. You may see that you saw the body of the mind player in the abyss, so you may see that again. I don't know how long I'm going to be on. I've been on for an hour. What do you got to mention? Hello, Jaga. I don't believe they will. I don't believe they will. I think there will be negotiations before that even happens. I know that they threatened to strike. I don't think they're going to. I don't think they're going to have a reason to either. So, yeah, I've heard about that, and I don't believe that that's going to happen. Yeah, I'm like, damn. Because if you'd have got there and they decided to close that gate, that would have been like, oops. Steven Ortega, how are you doing? My Christmas was all right. But, besides the rain fucking up everything, I was with family. I had good food. I watched good football and basketball. Spent some time with my customers and stuff. So I other than the weather out here, Christmas was good. They are not going to delay doing until March. That is absolutely not going to happen. They did that last time, and it cost them an Oscar. They are not going to. They may move it to November, but I don't think they're going to. To be honest with you, I don't think they need to. I don't think they need to. So yeah, that's just my opinion. But I mean, they Warner Brothers said they're not moving it now. Could that change as we get closer? Sure. I don't believe there's any reason for it to. Thank you for the $2 super chat. Yeah, I don't believe they're going to. I don't believe there's going to be a reason for them to because that'll be negotiated away. I don't think. I think a lot of these guys are coming up with ghost stories about what they think is going to happen, and instead of just following greed, if you're a union negotiator, you should know you should need to be following the money. But no, I don't think there will be a strike. I don't think the SAG or the DGA or the WGA can afford another strike. We're still reeling from the one that we just got over here a couple of years ago. And if you stop movies from being made over this, you're going to put yourself in a pinch. People. I think a lot of the market share went away from the theaters when there was a strike and there was nothing to see. T-shirt with Mr. Hankey, the Christmas food from South Park. Yeah, I remember. Kind of thought the death that said was ironic after telling the mascot in his dream to go away, but the monster ended up coming back and telling me name. Yep, I got it. Thank you. I don't think they are. Like I said, my reasoning, I don't think they need to. I don't think they should, but that's just me. I watched about 20 minutes of it, and I gave up on it. I was never big into the Cobra Kai series. I was okay with Karate Kid in the 80s, but I never really carried that excitement over to another show. So, no, I've watched about 20 minutes of Cobra Kai, and that's probably all I'm going to watch of it. Yes, I did see World's End. It was a very, 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 very solid pay-per-view. Some of the matches, I'm going to probably go deeper into World's End tomorrow in the wrap-up show because I literally just watched it a couple hours ago. But yeah, some surprising outcomes in that match. The Moxie match was a surprise for me. The title match, the 4-way, was a surprise for me, but the tag team match. Most of the matches, if I would call these matches, I would have probably got them all wrong. Yeah, this January one was tough. I couldn't watch it. Once again, I don't think they're going to move it because I think there's money in not moving it. This is my opinion. Cobra Kai never dies. So, well, it never really lived. I mean, 20 minutes wasn't, that's not like I dedicated a lot of time. I think they're doing long-term booking, to be honest with you. What they're doing with Mox is long-term booking. What they've done with Hangman Adam Page and Swerve Strickland has been very long-term booking. So I think they are doing long-term booking. I prefer Denny over them, but they suit the need. They do what's needed to be done for the type of movies that they make. So, whether they're better or not is subjective. All right, guys. I think that's where I'm going to wrap it up. We're not going to have a co-host tonight, so it looks like Brad's taking his nap. And we've been on there for a little bit. So I'm going to see if I can fix my earphones real quick. We're having some issues here. All right, guys. All right. Well, tomorrow night we are going back to our 10:30 slot for the weekend wrap-up show. Once again, we have no welcome to Daredevil, anything but just us. And I will be covering some topics like I will be talking about Absolute Wonder Woman 15, which was an excellent issue. We'll be talking about Absolute Flash number 7. I think Absolute Superman. We'll talk World's End in detail and depth, and then anything else we got to wrap up the weekend with. So, all right, guys. And like I said, thank you for Taladia and Aaron for running the FSP fundraiser today for Harry Potter. Much appreciated. And I will see you guys actually later on tonight. It's already Sunday. I will see you guys later on tonight. Have a good rest of your holiday, and we'll see you later.